In this video, we're going to show you how cloud-based providers such as AWS can be used along with Cinegy to help keep you on air in emergencies or as a cost-effective DR solution for your current playout system. The quickest solution for creating a playout channel in an emergency is to log onto your AWS account and search for Cinegy Channel in the Cloud. This will find the pre-configured Cinegy Air AMI, which you can launch immediately in your selected data center. You don't need to worry about purchasing a Cinegy license, as this is included in this marketplace instance and billed on a per-hour basis along with your other Amazon charges. The total per-hour cost depends on the data center you choose to deploy into, the instance type being used, data throughput, and storage requirements. The Amazon calculator will give you an idea of what the cost will be, but typically you can expect the per-hour cost to be $4 to $5. Whilst this may appear high, this marketplace rental is licensed for multiple channels of air playout along with Cinegy Multiviewer, so you can monitor all of your channels with alarming. The number of air channels you could run on this instance depends greatly on the resolution, frame rate, file formats being used, and the number of outputs being created and complexity of your branding and graphics. You would expect to run 3 or 4 channels, and for SD resolutions, many more. This would then equate to a per channel costing of just over $1 an hour. So let's have a look at an Amazon Marketplace instance I have running. Let's first look at the engine configuration. On the right of the taskbar, you can see a blue air icon. Right-click on it and select Configuration. The configurator shows us that 4 channels are configured and instance 0 and 1 are running. Double-click on instance 0 and let's see how it's set up. Selecting the Playout tab, we can see that it's an HD 25 frames per second engine with 1 output to shared RAM. By default, the market instance has 4 HD engines pre-configured, each with the shared RAM output being used to feed the Cinegy Multiviewer. The output from the engine will also need to feed your distribution network, so the next step depends on how your distribution works. If you're using Amazon for your distribution, you can just unicast to their AWS endpoint, or use an Amazon Wowzer instance for feeding Facebook or other CDNs. For this example, I'm going to assume you need the channel output brought back on site to feed your existing transmission network, be that SDI or IP. To do this, we are going to use the power of SRT, which is now integrated into all Cinegy products. This will allow me to backhaul the stream over the internet so I can then use it to feed my usual broadcast chain. SRT in Cinegy Playout can be configured as a caller, where the stream will be unicast to the destination IP, or as a listener, where it will wait for an external connection request and then stream to that particular requester. When running as a listener, you'll need to open both the Windows Firewall and Amazon Security Group for your chosen ports. I'm going to configure this Air engine as a listener so that I can use the AWS static IP for this instance to request a connection from my on-site server. On the Playback tab, I simply click the Add Device button and select RTP, as I'm going to be using an H.264 stream within my SRT feed. Select Unicast, and now I can select SRT from the Type drop-down. For the IP, I'm going to insert 0000, which will make this engine an SRT listener, and enter the port 9000. Hit the next button, no scaling. Video, we're going to set to H.264 at 10 megabit. Next onto the audio, and finally the summary for this additional output. I need to restart the engine for this to take place. I right-click on the engine icon and select Dashboard. Here you can see my instances, and I simply restart instance 0. Now that the engine has restarted, we can see the usual blue output of an engine that has no playlist loaded. So let's now add some media to the playlist so that our engine has some content on its output. This is done using Cinegy Air Control, which I can run locally on this server or remotely on another Amazon instance or workspace, depending on your connection and storage deployment. Start up Air Control and connect to the Engine 0 instance. Simply navigate to my media folder and drag and drop some content onto the playlist. and yes, I want it to start now. And there is our content now being played out. I could have also prepared a playlist remotely using Playlist Editor, or used Traffic Gateway to pass a VXF from my traffic system and then loaded that onto my playout server. Whilst we're looking at outputs, let me quickly start the pre-configured multi-viewer that is included in the Marketplace AMI. As you can see, it allows you to monitor all 4 engines in a single quad split. Currently, only Instance 0 is playing media. Returning to my local machine, I can check the stream by connecting to the engine with an SRT-enabled client such as VLC or Cinegy Player. I will enter the IP address of my Amazon instance along with the port we set up. As you can see, we are now receiving the output from our cloud playout via the internet. Finally, to allow me to feed my broadcast distribution from this SRT stream, I'm going to quickly configure a Cinegy encode on my local machine and convert the stream into any output, be that SDI, RTP or NDI, ready to feed my distribution. As before, I open my engine configuration by right-clicking on the engine icon in the bottom right-hand side of my taskbar and select Configurator. Open up the instance and select the Playout tab. On here, I set the engine to HD and the type of output that I require. I'm going to do this as a local render just for demonstration, but for you it would be your SDI or RTP output that would be set here. Finally, go to the RTP tab, click Enable, and set the URL to my Cloud Air. Then finally on the General tab, tick the Live on Startup tick box so that the live configured input will be passed through the engine upon startup, as this is the way code works. One final restart, and as you can see, I now have my channel in the cloud, playing in Amazon, and streaming back to my site via SRT, and converted ready for feeding my broadcast chain. You can find all of our product manuals on Cinegy Open, along with other how-to articles. I hope this has been of interest to you, and look out for future videos when we will be showing how to build a larger enterprise deployment using your own Amazon instances and purchasing permanent licenses to reduce the costs, along with automating the whole process of starting up and shutting down an environment for an on-demand DR solution.